So let's jump into some generic build cost rates. At an early stage of a project, it's very, very difficult to give accurate information on costs because there are so many variables through that process, but people generally want a guide. So these costings need to be taken with a pinch of salt, but we do this a lot. We see a lot of tenders come in for our designs, and hopefully it's a useful starting point and a yardstick for you to use in your own projects. When you're looking at a new extension, if you've got a 3 by 5 meter extension, for example, that's 15 square meters. Now we would typically take for extension works a cost of £3,000 to £3,500 per square meter. If you've got something like a side return, the cost of that per additional floor area is going to be greater because you've probably got £8,000 to £12,000 worth of engineering works to open up that side extension into the new space that you're creating. So all of these figures have to be taken with a pinch of salt, and all projects will be different. Now, if you're remodeling the internals of your property, you're knocking out structural walls, installing new heating systems and electrics, you're probably going to be looking at £2,000 to £2,500 per square meter of space that you are remodeling. If you're just refurbishing, i.e. kind of cosmetic upgrades, so new flooring, new architraves, new paintwork, then you're probably going to be looking at more like £1,500 to £2,000 per square meter. Next up is the main consultants that you're going to need for your project, and an architect will typically cost somewhere between 7 and maybe even 20% of your contract value, depending on the size of the contract. If you're upwards of £1 million in terms of build works, then your architecture fee is going to be less, closer to that 6-7% value. But if you are working on a small project where it's only £150,000 to £200,000 contract, then your percentage is going to be larger, so more like 15-20% depending on the size of the contract. For structural engineers, if you took a value of 0.25% to 0.5% of the contract value, you're not going to go far wrong as an estimate. And then the other main one, especially in London where you're working on terrace properties or close to a neighbouring building, is a party wall surveyor. So to serve a party wall notice, you're probably £150 to £200. Then if you have to do party wall awards for each freeholder or leaseholder that's neighbouring you, then that's going to be at least £1,000 per award that you need. So now let's look at the individual client supply items or finishes, so your kitchen, your floorings, your windows, all that sort of stuff that is often big ticket but needs to be factored in. Windows and doors go into different brackets depending on the quality of them and size of them, but to give you a very, very quick overview, UPVC windows and doors, double glaze, typical standard stuff, will cost you somewhere between £500 and £700 per square meter. If you're looking at timber sash windows, now depending on whether it's softwood or hardwood, hardwood's going to be more expensive than softwood, you're probably somewhere between £900 and £1,200 per square meter. Things like aluminium bifold doors, those sort of good quality aluminium bifold doors will cost somewhere between £750 and £1,000 per square meter. Flat roof lights, again, depending on, this is not structural walk-on glaze, and flat roof lights are £1,200 to £1,500 per square meter. Now, if you did want them to be walk-on, you're looking at double the cost again to have structural walk-on glazing. Moving into kitchens, giving you a very budget, mid-high range of kitchens. If you're looking to get some form of Howdens, Magnet, IKEA type, £6,000 to £12,000, you could probably include stone worktops within that, but nothing too high end. And then appliances for a typical property might cost you £2,000 depending on the spec again. Mid-range for things like bespoke shaker style kitchens or German-made kitchens, you're probably going to be spending £20,000 to £30,000. And then if you really want to go high end, like a Tom Howley or Roundhouse or hand painted kitchens, you could easily spend £50,000 plus. Sanitary ware wise, bathroom fittings, a basic 4-piece suite, for example, might only cost you £1,500. But then on the flip side of that, you could easily spend £10,000 on brand name baths and fittings. Flooring wise, again, looking at basic, mid and sort of higher range type finishes. On the low end of the scale for your standard carpets and laminates, you're probably looking at £15 to £30 per square meters. This is just supply only. Mid-range, £30 to £60 a square meter will get you an engineered wood floor and some nicer tiling. And then on the higher range of the specification, you're looking at £60 per square meter plus. That'll be sort of proper wood floors, mosaic tiles. And one thing I would say with flooring, for example, is that the installation cost can increase significantly depending on how it's laid. So if you're laying a herringbone style, that's going to cost you more than straight planks that take less time to actually install. Now, I must caveat that with We are in London. We work in London, we work in the home counties, and there will be people that can do it cheaper than the rates that I've just discussed. We use very good contractors for a high-end finish, and that is what we would expect for those rates. There will be contractors that can do it cheaper, but these are the types of contractors that we work with, having seen numerous projects, over 60 a year for the last couple of years. If I could give one top tip when going into a renovation or extension project, it's to be very honest with your build budget. So that's what you can expect to pay for your home extension or refurbishment work in 2025. If you've enjoyed this video, let us know down below in the comments. And if you want to see some video tours of some of the amazing projects that we've worked on at Aura Architecture and Interiors, head over to here.